Howdy folks, Judge Hills here, and welcome back to World of Tanks. I thought I'd sit down and do a proper commentary video for you guys, since I've been throwing a whole slew of replay videos at you guys without commentary, at least without audio commentary. And today we're going to be looking at a game that I had in my M41 Walker Bulldog, the Tier 7 American Scout tank, one of them that is, the other one being the T-71. And we're playing on Prokhorovka standard mode from the South spawn. Now I've been playing the M41 Walker Bulldog a lot recently for one particular reason, and that is because in the upcoming patch, which there hasn't been a definitive date set yet by Wargaming, that in all likelihood the M41 Walker Bulldog will be losing its 10-shot autoloader, and will have its top speed being nerfed a little bit as well, if I remember correctly. Now that's tentative because, you know, all these upcoming changes are subject to modification or change or whatever. But the main reason that Wargaming are doing this in their way of running things when they're releasing the Tier 10 lights is because the scouts will no longer be receiving +3 matchmaking, but will be receiving +2 matchmaking like every other tank in World of Tanks, or I should say most every other tank in World of Tank, with the exception of the low tier tanks, of course, and with some preferential premiums. So scouts will now receive the same kind of matchmaking that other tanks do. So Wargaming is thinking some of these scouts are too powerful if they stay with their current attributes, but no longer see +3 matchmaking, and instead only get +2 matchmaking. So I can kind of see where some of the scouts would be too powerful. I can see where some of the other scouts probably don't need to be changed at all because they're kind of weak, like the 5916, the Tier 6 Chinese Scout. In fact, it probably should be buffed, and I think it is actually. And anyway, I'm rambling. But anyway, yeah, that's the reason why I've been playing the M41 Walker Bulldog recently, because it will be losing its 10-shot autoloader in all likelihood, and it will be using that single shot gun that is the alternative gun that you can use, the alternative 76mm for this tank. I think this the single shot gun gets extra gun depression compared to the autoloader. I'm not sure on that. I'll check the stats after I record this and put it in text for you guys to make sure on that. But anyway, the other reason I'm showing you guys this replay is because this is the game that I was able to achieve 100% marks of excellence in the M41 Walker Bulldog, that is, on the North American server. And as far as I'm aware of how the system works, that means that I have the highest combined direct damage and assistance damage on the server in this tank for the last 2 weeks. So just doing a quick rundown of the teams here, and we'll start with the game. Already, one really nice thing to note about this composition is that there's no artillery. The enemy team are a little bit more mobile than our team in the top tiers. They have 3 top tier mediums, and we only have 1. I mean, Super Pershing is classed as a medium, but it's really a heavy tank. And they have an extra tier 8 here, it looks like, compared to our Tiger P. And the rest of the teams are about evenly distributed as far as tank roles. You got some snipers, you got some flankers, and you have some tanks with armor. We have a little bit more armor than them. So let's just get started. Now, I've been thinking about the countdown timer, about going over to this this F7 bush that you guys will see when I get to there. Already, and when the AMX 1375 pinged on the mini-map during the countdown that he was going to be indicating that he was going to be spotting over here, then I knew that I was definitely a good decision for me to spread the vision and go over to this side of the map. Now, when I get into position here, I'll explain a little bit about how I do this for those of you who have never used this position before. And we'll knock over this tree, and I'll go ahead and pause the game here. Alright, and let's see if I can get the free cam to work here. There we go. I'm going to smooth the camera angle out so you guys don't get dizzy. Alright, so when you make this approach into this position, first of all you need to be ready to abort going into this position. If you see, for instance, an enemy scout who is going up over the rail tracks and crossing through the middle street of the village and then moving on up to the hill, that is a possibility. So be ready to abort your plan in moving into this position and run back down the 7 line and back over here across the south rail crossing and move probably back over to the field would be a good position for you if that happens. But if no enemy scouts or fast tanks interrupt you from getting into this position, how you do it is you drive along this field here. Let's see if I can speed up the camera angle a little bit, and then you go over here. And what you need to do when you use this position is you have to knock down this house. It is a must. Because if you don't knock down this house here, what happens, and let's see if I can minimize the map and the team list here so you guys can see better. Whoa, camera went a wild on me here. What happens there is this house here blocks your line of sight into seeing onto the top of the hill here. I'll bring the mini map up here. Your line of vision here is into E0, F0, and there's a little bit of a gap in the buildings here where you can see into D9 a little bit as well. But if you don't knock this house before you draw into this bush, then you won't be getting very good spots on enemy tanks as they drive up the hill here. You might see around the right side of the house a little bit at the very top of the hill here, but it won't be as good. So what I like to do is I like to make the approach line of just driving around like this and knocking over the house on my way to the bush. That way I'm doing it all in one motion and saving myself some time. Also, you kind of have to knock down half of this building here. It's just how it is. The building is so close to the bush. And then what I like to do is I like to pull forward and then reverse and knock this tree over in the direction of the hill, kind of, because these two bushes right here, the modeling of the bush looks like they're kind of together, but I was doing some experimenting in a training room with a friend a while back, and basically we kind of figured out that the camo model of the bush is actually, there's a little bit of a gap in here. So I like to try and knock over this tree if I can to help give extra concealment angle here from enemies that are approaching along this line back here, this 9-0 line back here. And that way it'll help you from getting spotted. If they stay at this distance back here, it doesn't matter if you knock this tree down over or not. Usually you won't get spotted anyway. The biggest risk of you getting spotted in this position is if any enemy tanks start crossing over the rail line from the 6 line in the field, or they start moving up here from the 7 line, and that kind of thing. So anyway, that's how I use that position. Let's move on with the game. And I'll get the team list back up here. So I get into position here, I get the tree knocked over, and now it's just sitting and waiting. The biggest thing about this position is having teammates in position that can support you, and I have a ton of tanks that can shoot what I'm spotting here. What you need to be looking for is teammates that are in F5 and F6. And that is the position that can shoot what you're spotting up here on the hill. And remember, even though I can see these guys and I'm spotting these guys, my teammates do not have shots on them yet, just because of the angle. I'm at a different angle to the enemy than my teammates are currently. There we go, one of my teammates just fired and missed, and another one hit. And we get some nice early assistance damage there. That's what I was talking about. This gap in between these two poplar trees right there, sometimes you can spot enemy tanks that are crossing through this D8, D9 area as well. But usually you won't spot them until they were back where I first spotted that Panther back here. Now we also spot the Patton KR here. The Panther 88 is taking more damage. And one of my teammates blind fire him, the KV5 on my team, and the Panther 88 dies. And we get all the assistance damage credit for spotting that Panther 88. Now, unfortunately, my team are missing the Patton KR. They fired, I think, 3 or 4 shots at this guy already and haven't hit and damaged him yet. Maybe they've hit him, but they've been bouncing on his turret, maybe. Somebody gets a nice hit on the T-34 there, even though he's trying to hide behind the wreck of the Panther 88 there. Actually, I'll let the replay run a little bit more so you can see what I'm talking about. We'll wait for these guys to get respotted again. I'll wait for the T-34 to get respotted. There we go. And I'll go out of sniper mode here. And we're going into free cam again. Now, when you are spotting tanks that are up here on the zero line on the hill, you need to realize that your teammates are a little bit lower than you are. I'm currently sitting right here, right where this cursor is. I'm sitting right here, and I'm spotting this T-34 and Patton KR. Now, my teammates do have side shots on the T-34, and they should be able to hit this Patton KR okay. But you guys can see here, if I zoom the camera angle right to where this Patton KR is, you can see that he's hiding his hole really well from the rest of my teammates sitting back here. And also, when enemy tanks are sitting here, you got to remember that there's a little bit of a depression right here for them to hide part of their tank, and right here for they can hide most of their tank. So you need to be patient. Your teammates won't have really decent shots on them until they start pushing up where this Panther 88 is and where this T-34 is starting to move up now. So if your teammates aren't getting shots in on the enemy, that may be part of the reason why. So let's just keep going. A lot of fire from my teammates from behind me on the 5 and the 6 line going into this T-34 and Patton KR. Unfortunately, not a lot of damage is going in on these tanks. There we go. I get a couple hits there on the Patton KR. Unfortunately, only get a little bit of assistance damage there. I think maybe one of my teammates on the hill did one of those shots of damage. But if the enemy tank is taking damage and if he dies, that's what matters. And I notice on the mini-map behind me that the T-34 was moving up on the 6th line. I just noticed just in time. In fact, I probably should have reacted a little bit quicker. And now I'm thinking I'm spotted. I need to retreat and avoid getting shot by the T-34 that's up here. And I think it was a Cromwell that was last spotted up here in E0. So I'm backing off and going back across the South Rail crossing. Kind of make a misplay there when you're relocating and moving to different areas of the map. If your teammates are set up to shoot down a certain firing lane, if you can drive behind them and not in front of them like I just did, that way you won't block their line of fire and they won't accidentally shoot you, or you won't accidentally prevent them from shooting the enemy. So misplay there on my part. Now I'm just going over here, kind of using my time of relocating to try and roll scout here, see if I can get any vision here in D1 and E1 and E2 and kind of this D2 area. It's kind of hard to spot because there's a lot of bushes along this on this 2-line road, but it's worth a shot. I don't spot anything. I'm gonna hop up over the rail tracks here. I know I'm gonna get spotted by this AMX M449 when I do it, which is fine, because I noticed that the T-34 on the enemy team has died, the crossfire from our snipers here on the hill. And so now the only thing over here is a Cromwell and a KV-122 who was not spotted when I decided to do this, I don't think. And I wasn't really too worried about getting shot by the Cromwell because he doesn't have a very high alpha gun and I can out-DPM him. Now this KV-122 is hiding behind this house here, so I have a 10-shot autoloader so I can spare a few shells to try and help knock down this building so I can start to get side shots on him. I don't want to move in close and get on top of him and fire because I don't know what enemy snipers might be sitting back here on the north rail crossing here in B6 or sitting up here in this northeast island in A9 and A0 and B9 and B0. But now that we've killed the KV-122, I start to move up a little bit. There, I spot the AMX AC-46 there. He knows he gets spotted and he dives into cover here along this northeast riverbed. Unfortunately, don't get any assistance damage there, but I did spot him, so my teammates know that he's there. Now they're pushing in on him. Now I'm just moving up. I'm thinking I'm going to try and spot the B6 North Rail crossing here where snipers like to sit, but I find an AFK Black Prince who DC'd along the red line on the north side of the map in A8. Now this is really cheesy direct damage and assistance damage, but hey, I'll take free damage any day of the week because it doesn't happen very often. So we get a decent amount of our own damage in on the AFK Black Prince, and a couple of our teammates shoot him as well. So a dead tank is a dead tank, whether they're AFK or not, and you never know. Sometimes AFK players come back into the battle sometimes. We spot the Panther sitting back here along the North Rail line, and we spot the Scorpion G just as he sneaks past us here and going into the riverbed where he's going to engage our Tiger P. The Scorpion G must have been sitting back here maybe in A8 or something like that before I just spotted him. I'm ignoring the Panther right now and focusing in on the Scorpion G, which is the much more dangerous tank to my team right now. The Panther isn't as dangerous of a tank. And even after shooting a couple shells at the Scorpion G, I still had 6 shots left. And you will no longer be able to do what I'm doing here to this poor Panther and this poor Scorpion G when they remove, and if they remove the 10-shot autoloader of the M41 Walker Bulldog. So that is why I've been playing this tank a lot, to enjoy the burst damage firepower of this tank while it's still around. Now we're encapsulating the enemy snipers and campers that are still sitting here along the 2 line. They haven't really even moved past the center, the horizontal center of the map yet along the F line, except for the Cromwell. Now I've just reloaded, and I'm thinking I'm going to go in and just clip out this Cromwell easily. I'm still full health, but I see at the last second there that the AMX 1375 was right there with him, and it turns out that the 1375 wasn't reacting to me at all. But if he had, that wouldn't have been a fight I wanted to take with the Cromwell and the AMX 1375, because the AMX 1375 has an autoloader as well. And if the Cromwell shoots me a couple times, the AMX 1375 can easily kill me. Kind of annoyed that a couple of my shots bounced on the Cromwell there. That will come back and bite me in the butt here in a second. I finish off the Dicker Max, and I didn't notice. I should have focused my fire on the WZ-131 immediately as soon as he got spotted, but I didn't notice him when I was focusing in on the Dicker Max. And the final shot in my clip bounced on the WZ-131, and now I am caught in a really bad position because I'm reloading, and the WZ-131 probably knows that I'm reloading here since I'm not shooting back at him. Obviously he knows, but now he's a little worried about getting shot by my teammates here. He decides to take the risk and come back over and try to get me. But luckily my teammates saved me. The T-44 here sitting on the center ridge, and F4 was able to save me. I was a one-shot for the WZ-131, so that's nice that he saved me. The enemy AMX 1375 has gone on a Sparta mode and rushing down here into the south, and our Stir Emil was able to defend himself before he got flanked, which just leaves the T-28 Prot over here in B2. Now, despite the okay way I've been playing this game so far, I'm going to end this game doing something really stupid, and I'll explain what it is and what I could have done different. So, unfortunately, I don't end this game as well as I have been playing most of it so far. Right now, I'm just trying to keep him spotted, and maybe some of my teammates will have shots on him. He's kind of in this depression behind the road here, so likely not. And this is where I'm doing something really stupid. I'm getting really impatient. I just want to move in and maybe get some damage in on the T-28 Prot. I know that he was sitting here behind the wreck of the Object 252 here, and that maybe I had a chance of keeping this wreck in between me and him as far as angling is concerned, but realistically, he has very little trouble, even though he's a slow tank, right? And not quite as slow anymore, in fact, because they buffed the T28 Prot along with the T28 and T95 in the last patch with mobility and speed and horsepower, I think. It doesn't take very much for him to pull forward or pull back to get his gun around the wreck to shoot me, right? And I have a lot further distance to cover here, right? To keep the wreck in between his gun and me. So this is really, really stupid of me to do. What I should be doing, and let's see if we can go into free cam one more time and speed up the camera angle here. What I should be doing is I should have retreated all the way back here. First of all, staying in this ditch right here, right, and retreated back along here, and then come up over here. And what I should have done is I should have come up over here, and maybe in these bushes probably would have been the best choice, but if I wanted to be super conservative, I could have gone back even here to the traditional E1 bush here, where our AMX 1375 died. And yeah, it would have taken a little bit more time, but I wouldn't have ended up dying like I do, spoiler alert. And I would have at least been able to respot the T28 Prot safely from stealth back here, and I could have just been patient and let my IS-3 and T-44 move up and support me, and we could have all moved in together, maybe get some support from the Super Pershing or the Tiger P and Hellcat that are over here. But I get really impatient, and I end up paying the price here. So we'll start the game again here. Trying to play Ring Around the Rosie of the wreck of the 252, but the T28 Prot ends up nailing me. I was hoping I could keep his gun behind the wreck while I zigged and zagged as he reversed. As he reversed, I changed my direction, started going around right. But a lot of the reason why he was easily able to get a shot on me is not only because it doesn't take very much for him to drive around the wreck to get his gun on me, but also because I'm on higher terrain here, right, than he is. He is lower than me, so he could probably get his gun up over top of the back of the wreck of the 252 here very easily as well. So unfortunately, I do something really stupid here in the end, but all's fair, that's fair. I make a dumb mistake, and I should pay for it, and I did pay for it. But I wanted to explain to you guys it to you in this video, and explain to you guys what I should have done in retreating back here, and maybe getting some shots in from range, or just being more patient and waiting a few more seconds. So I already got over 3,000 assistance damage and a little over 3,000 direct damage, but I could have gotten even a little bit more out of this game. So luckily this game was not in a win or lose situation where it might have gone either way. We have a lot of our teammates here still left alive, even though some of them are one-shots. But if it were, that kind of dumb decision that I just made might have lost the game for my team. So luckily it didn't, and we end up winning this game with, I don't remember who kills the T28 Prot here, but it takes a little bit longer for them to close the distance and kill him. So I wanted to show you guys this game in my M41 Walker Bulldog on Prokhorovka, do a regular commentary video for you guys, doing it a little bit more in depth than I normally do. And like I said, this was the game that I was able to earn 100% marks of excellence in the M41 Walker Bulldog, the Tier 7 American Scout. And I'd recommend, if you want to enjoy the 10-shot autoloader of this tank, then you should go ahead and playing it while it still has it before the Tier 10 Scouts are released. So it's not set in stone, I don't think for sure. Like I said before, all these stats and changes that Wargaming are thinking about could change, but it's probably pretty likely that the Bulldog will lose its clip. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this replay. I'm going to throw in a little something at the end of this video for those of you who watch my one-sided video series where I show games that I show that have a huge margin of victory. Usually is the videos that I show. But I'm going to show you guys a game that I had in my M41 Walker Bulldog on steps where there was a huge margin of loss, just to give you guys an idea of what it's like to be on the receiving end of one of those games. So I'm going to let the score sheets run for this video, and then I'll show you guys that game after that. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. I wish you the best of luck with you guys out there playing your M41 Walker Bulldogs. Happy hunting and take care.